live. Yes. And we have one attendee in here. So wait for attendees to show up, and then you can get started. Two attendees in here. I will keep a count, but I will go on mute and stop video.
Okay, should we wait a couple of minutes just for more people to come?
Yeah, yeah. Keep the conversation in flow. Keep the conversation in flow, and make sure. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Tell us a funny story.
Funny story?
Yes.
Okay, I will tell you about that I entered to a conference in Harvard, Washington, D.C. chapter. And I had too many meetings these days, and I thought it was an Agile conference. So I started to talk about Agile and about how to make like scale and how to make groups. And they were like, oh, wow, like, and you already applied this in Harvard chapters in DC? And I was like, oh my God, this is the wrong meeting. But I was so like focusing the agile and talking about the scaling and about the mindset and about the attitudes that we just continue with the topic, and the whole session was just about agile. So we will. And everybody was like, I want more about this agile. So next chapter meeting, we will talk about this. And I was, well, of course.
Love
That's
it.
the story.
That
All right.
happened like
So
3 days ago.
sorry. Time check 11:17, and we have 21 folks listening to our conversation and laughing with us. That's great. Happy to see you all in here. Thank you so much for your time. Looks like we can get started. And from here, Matthias. Oh, sorry, Ricardo. Man, I
Okay.
love Matthias a lot. Go ahead, Ricardo.
Yeah, that's true. It seems like no many people likes me, but it's okay. One day,
Ah,
one day,
don't say that.
I will try to polish up those skills. So yeah, what a great talk we just had from Alistair. I think it was
Yeah.
an unbelievable trip to the past to help us understand what is really behind that manifesto and behind that weekend in Utah, and to learn a little bit about the present. What is the core? What is the real heart of Agile? And if we want to connect that past and present with what is coming next, what we will have in the future, I cannot think of a better way to have a conversation with Rocío. So Rocío Briceño is from Costa Rica. She's been living in Washington for a few years. There are only two things that I'm going to say about her. So the first one, she likes poetry. Actually, she loves poetry. And it's not that she just likes it, it's just she writes poetry.
Yeah.
And the second one, I think that something happened in 2007. Uh, she was basically doing some paragliding, like, the parachute and flying stuff, and she had an accident over there. Probably before that experience, she was trying to be under, trying to control everything and planning everything. And probably since that day on, uh, Agile permeated her life. And probably she started to be a little bit more agile from a personal perspective too. So, Rocío, welcome, and just tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you, Ricardo. Yeah, literally, I crashed with Agile. Agile arrived to my life like in a crash accident when I just crashed with the planet, flying with my recent flight pilot license, and I realized that in 1 second, in less than 1 second, everything could just go away, and you could just lose all your plans immediately. And everything that has sense to you doesn't have sense anymore, and your priorities change like immediately. So that was a tough way to learn it, but everybody understands in their own time. You will understand in your own time. You who are watching this, 17 people got a gathering 20 years ago. They set up the way but it's up to you if you follow that way or not. And each one of us, we define our own way. I think that I find mine with social impact projects, but this is day by day thing. So I still don't know. I am trying to do my best every day. And that is why in this like journey, I have co-founded a movement that is called Social Impact Agile. And I have the honor to say that one of the co-founders is as well Alistair Coburn. And the other one is Gerardo Blister, and we have two other people that are not part of the movement anymore, but there are too many from all around the world that are joining every single day because we want to improve the quality of life of the people, and we want to improve the population, and we want to share capabilities in order to make this work a little bit better. And I have been talking with Ricardo about this like since the day one that I met him, and Ricardo as well working something that is related to this. So I talked to Ricardo and I said, Ricardo, let's have just a conversation. Let's do this like more interactive because it's a secret, but I get really, really, really like bored with the regular standard presentations. I don't know you, Ricardo. So what do you think? Have you ever listened to this? Oh, I forgot to introduce myself, but Ricardo already introduced me like really good. I am part of several communities, as Alistair mentioned. One of those communities that I love is Heart of Agile. I am as well part of PMI. I have been champion of Discipline Agile, and actually I am part of Global Volunteering Ethics. I am as well part of some communities in Scrum, and actually, I am working as a consultant for international organization, multilateral organization, in how to make this agile transformation using social impact agile. As well, I am a student of Harvard Business School, and recently I started at MIT studying data economics and development for social development, of course. So, okay, that is about me and some little bit about my story, but what is this about the social impact? And it is about making a difference. And who makes this kind of projects or this kind of products or this kind of decisions? Because as Alistair mentioned to you, it's about making one decision every single day or multiple decisions every single day to make the life different, to choose not the easy path, to choose the correct and the right thing to do in order to be better and in order to help others to be better too. And that is about making a difference in a population, making a difference in a family, making a difference in a group, making a difference with just the next person that is in the same area that you are. And that is why we created Social Impact Agile, trying to follow this dream about the 5 commitments that I will talk to you like in a second, in the next slide. These 5 commitments that we have, we went just in around here in Virginia to a place, and we made a gathering between people that are related to this development, social projects and social impact projects. And we were talking what we have in common. And it's kind of trying to do our gathering, simulating, or following the example of the 17, the big 17, 20 years ago. We said, well, in order to have a social project to go in a good way or to have like a good, having good results, we have to share the same objective. And we were like, do we really have to share the same objective? Or we have to understand each stakeholder objectives? Because sometimes stakeholders are government, sometimes are private, sometimes are social, sometimes are the 3 of them. And each one has their own agenda and their own priorities. But we still have to accomplish the product. So we have to be really, really transparent in sharing those objectives and picking at least one that is in common, and understanding that each one of them have their own agenda, but we are going to try to synchronize all together in order to reach a single objective that is good for 3 of them or all of them. The other thing that we find in these 5 commitments is that we have to have the beneficiary or the person that will, the people that will receive the product actively involved during the whole effort and several efforts that we make. Why? Because sometimes people who designs this kind of projects or this kind of aids or this kind of like programs, they don't really feel the need. And if you have never been under starvation, you don't know how starvations me feel. You don't know what is like not having food. So you have to be really, really like in touch of the population and in touch of the people that is living that problem or is living the people that are living that situation. In order to have them like really involved and not design something that is not going to be worthy. And this is mainly something that in Agile we know, because in Agile normally you say have the customer actively involved in all the process, but the customer here is not someone that maybe will pay, is someone that is a beneficiary or some of something of an effort. So Ricardo, I don't know what you think, if you have seen like any program that has been designed without having the beneficiary involved so far.
Yeah, but before getting there, Nash has something to say.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, I'm interjecting, but I have a breaking news. Alistair is here. I saw him in attendees. I promoted him as a panelist, and he's here just in case.
Welcome, Alistair. It's a pleasure having you here.
So I think he needs to turn his camera on in order to be here. Okay, yeah, answering your question, Rocío, yeah, there is something about social impact projects that we don't usually have in regular projects. We are usually looking for a profit or always focusing on the bottom line, but this is a different world, basically, when it's not just trying to put yourself in the customer's shoes, but you really have to understand the needs and the problems, and basically going there and actually trying to experience life as those people experience it right now. So that would be one of the questions. How can you approach your end customers in an effective way? Is that like design thinking comes into play, or is just a human perspective, or is you need some type of special people to go there and reach them?
Well, that leads us, that comment is really good, because that moves to the yellow balloon that we have over there, that is the third commitment. And it's the team has to be with social passion. And this is something that when we were like defining this, we were arguing between each other or sharing thoughts, or maybe agree and disagree sometimes, because there are people that just don't care about others. And that is something sad, but it's something that is real. And that kind of people cannot be part of a social impact project. Because if we have like in the team, someone that is just like lack of this sense of why we are doing this, or is just disconnected with the final purpose, that is not the person that makes these commitments. And that is why we mentioned this as 5 commitments, And these 5 commitments should be present during the project and at the beginning of the project and in every iteration or a sprint of the project, in the name that you wanted to put on that. And we have to identify as well the people that is not committed, because in that way you could handle better what is going on and what is happening, and understanding what are the risks and what are the actions that you must take, and what is the people, or which ones are the ones that are committed and the ones that you know that you will work like strongly with them in order to have the things done. As well, the transparency. Transparency is the 4th commitment. And because more of this project, or a lot of this kind of projects, has like public finances involved. I mean, sometimes is international law, sometimes it is like crowdfunding, sometimes it is like donations, sometimes it is philanthropy, or sometimes it's like just sharing the usage of taxes. So transparency in terms of financing is a key, and transparency in terms of information as well, and in terms of attitudes, and in terms of everything that you are accomplishing is really, really important, because sometimes this could be as well legal problems in this kind of projects, okay?
Yeah, there are tons of variables here that we don't really have in a regular basis and the commercial practice. So why don't you tell us a story that I'm pretty sure that you have plenty on your pocket about one of those projects that you have worked on?
Okay, and before going to that, I will mention the last one, but not the least one, and that is the 5th commitment. That is frequent and visible results. As you know, we are talking about Agile, we are talking about results, we are talking about delivery. As well, if you have seen the heart of Agile, you've seen that we have collaboration, and in 2nd place we have delivery as well. Like in the if you see the square, is collaboration, delivery, reflect and improve. So delivery is key part of this. And let's go to one story. And the story that I would like to share, and that is in the next slide, is about a city that is called Tegucigalpa in Honduras. Honduras is in Central America. And Tegucigalpa is a nice city, as you can see in the picture. They have mountains, and it's a city that grows really, really fast. They have several constructions over there, and several like international services and businesses and stuff. The thing is that the city grew faster than the services, than the public services of the government. How you say that?
Utilities?
Utilities, yeah.
Utility infrastructure.
Thank you, yeah. Like, I mean, the city grows, but they didn't have enough water to bring all the service to the city. So they have water shortage. And at some point, I was working in one multilateral organization that is called IDB Bank. And I was part of this like amazing effort of helping this country to make like a boot camp to solve this situation of water shortage, because that became really critical. So they call us, and we create a multifunctional team. And this multifunctional team has people really well prepared or well educated in communications, in water, in government, in public administration, as well in Agile. I was part of that. In regular traditional projects, there have other people in things of economics and financial stuff as well, because there was loans and international aids involved on that. But I was in charge of the leadership of the Agile effort of this bootcamp. So we started to think like, how are we gonna do this? Because we will be handling about 400 people in the same place, and these people come from the government, several institutions of the government, of the private sector as well, because everybody is involved with a water shortage, everybody is affected, and as well leaders from the society, and some students even we have like in this group. So we arrived earlier, and I had to call 25 agile coaches actually that came from several areas of Latin America with several focus. I mean, like specialties. Some of them were about Scrum. Other were like about other practices
Kanban.
like Kanban. Yeah, thank you. Like extreme programming, DSM. Mention it. We have like people from every of those, and I started talking to them as well as Heart of Agile in order to simplify and to have the essence of what we were going to do. We have as well some people prepared in design thinking. They were specialists in design thinking. So we said how we're going to handle this. So in order to have that core team that were the coaches, we have to set up with the problem so they really feel in their skin what was not having the water. So we went around the city to understand and to talk to the people and to have the sensibility about that. And the next day as well, when we started the boot camp, everybody was there, the leaders of the country as well. And we started with design thinking, so they put the ideas and they make like their small prototypes or ideas of the prototypes to solve the problem. And we mix it together, all the groups. So we have people that has like one point of view sit in the next in the same table with people that has totally other point of view, and they registered by themselves in each initiative. And after that, we make like connecting with the purpose, connecting with the need, connecting with the final end of the situation, because it is not something that just affect the poor people or something that just affect the people that has money. Everybody was affected when there is no water. Yep. So when they have the connection, they started to make like a small groups. We make like cells, small groups, and we started to work to design like a release plan with the projects. And we designed as well the period of the iterations of the sprints that we are going to have, and we make we reflect every iteration during the days in order they improve and they show to other and they share to other groups about their ideas. At the end of this bootcamp, we have 10 projects in different areas, prioritized and already set up, because we have as well people from the legal area, we have as well people from the finance area. So they were like feasible to do, and with a release plan for all of them to start solving the water shortage problem. And they were happy. They were really happy to start working for their country and to see that each other they could communicate and they could have a solution and they could create that. Mm-hmm. So that was amazing. For me, that was amazing.
So yeah, being here in Washington, the government is here, a lot of government contractors. So we complain a lot about that integration part, how to put on the same table, government and the private sector or the contractors. But what you're saying is that you're putting actually many more groups than that. It was government, it was the general public, it was the international organization, and it was other people in the middle. And basically you put all of them, like 400 people in a room, and actually, let me go back. Basically you found one common goal, only one, even though they have their own agendas, one common goal for all of them. And that was the excuse to put them work around the walls, right?
Yeah, we use these things that you maybe know. because sometimes people like, I had a friend that says, more that you study, more you complicate the things. And I and I always say, no, I complicate the things not because I study, I complicate the things because we are complicated. And because using this in the walls was the first thing that make us enable the communication between 400 people from several layers in the society and several points of view and several different areas. But they have to write this down and put it in the wall and put in like 10 initiatives, and they sharing what they think enable the communication.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, you mentioned something about a group of agile coaches. So did you bring them like before that big event with the
Yes.
400 people, or how were you able to put them on the same page first?
Well, I have to say that I was really blessed because the energy of the universe was helping me and helping us, because we had people from pretty much all the countries. I cannot mention one country that wasn't there. I mean, like Paraguay, Costa Rica, Colombia, mentioning Nicaragua, Mexico, all of the countries. We just have people, they were volunteers actually. They were volunteers selected that they apply for this.
Oh.
And we reviewed the profiles of the people, and I talked to some of them as well. And my team as well in the IDB, they cherry picking pretty much as well. So when they arrived there over there, they already knew what was going to be about this effort, and I started to talk to them about, okay, let's synchronize ourselves first, because and something that Alistair mentioned in the last talk, and as well you have listened that in several other celebration of the manifesto talks, is like you have to put your ego outside the room. And when you are like a specialized or expert or something about Scrum or about SAFe or about discipline agile or mention whatever, you say, well, I know this and I know that and I know that. So that doesn't help. We need to go back to being a servant for others. To what is just to help others to accomplish their objectives and to accomplish something that is bigger than us. So the 25 coaches that arrived there, really fast they understand that, because there was just one chance to work with these 400 people to solve the water shortage. And without water, people get sick. Without water, imagine without water with this COVID situation, we are talking about lives. So there is no time, no second for egos here.
Okay, so you took that group of coaches, put them on the same page, then you spread out that thing and that energy to the 400 people group. But I guess you started with one idea. I mean, that big event. And then I'm pretty sure you end up with several different ideas or like micro projects or something like that. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was amazing, because with this kind of projects, I mean, like, I am not expert in water. I actually am computer engineer, and I am studying about development, economics, and politics in these universities that I mentioned to you. But my first major was in computer engineering. So they came up with solutions like, let's see, like a metaphor, how you seed the water, como plantar el agua. And I was like, water seed, what is that about? And they were talking about the water sources in ecological way. And they were talking about as well the pollution. So there were people with that mindset of the environment that is really important. And they say, well, if we don't have water, we have to be really careful with the source of our water. There were other people that they say, wow, how much water do we need? What are the measures? What are the metrics? How much water we're using right now? So they started thinking about the data analytics, and about how to measure, and about how to get that information, and what are the databases that they could cross to have that. There were other people that they were, no, we have to change the design of our constructions or our buildings or the houses. So they designed recipients that came in the top of the houses in order to reuse the water. There were other people that says, no, we have to sanitize the water, and we have to reuse water. So they were thinking about how to sanitize the water that were like coming with dirty stuffs, that the water that is dirty. There were other people that says, well, we have to put lean in the legal process of the government in order to make faster to take decisions. So they were analyzing the value stream mapping of the legal procedure in order to have the projects done. And there were other people that were thinking, well, we need funding, we need the money, we need to approach the money in a good way for the 10 other projects. So they were focused on how we are going to handle the money that comes from the international loan, international aid, and other money that they have already in the country. So that was like such amazing experience, because I have one idea, you have another idea, that you are watching this video right now, or this conference right now, you have several other ideas. And when we build together is when we really have a solution, and when we really have an ecosystem that is working to improve the society. So that was awesome.
Yeah, it sounds to me like it's not about talking. It's not talking about projects. It's just talking about a goal that you have and how to put everyone on the same page, just thinking about that goal, and then you will find those projects or products or anything in the
Or
middle.
decisions.
Decisions might be there, exactly.
And the attitudes, because if you have the attitude to help, you will do something. And if you have the attitude to become better and to reach your goals, and you have the discipline to not go to the easy way or to the selfish way, and do the things in the right way, we will do it together, and we will accomplish our objectives, our goals.
Now, one thing that is really impressive is that coming from Latin America, you can see a difference. That is a very hierarchical society, and at work especially, the status and the role or that you have is something that has a lot of like weight in people's lives. So how did you manage that part? Because you were bringing people from the government, actually.
Well, I didn't do that alone. We have a team, and the PM coaches were key for this, because they were trained, I will say, or educated in how to use powerful questions. Like, I mean, when someone is taking the control of the table and just like talking and putting his or her ideas over the table, and the other person is not like talking, they have to be like really clever or fast in order to identify that, and use as well visual cards and collaboration stuff in order to make a dynamic so everybody can share their thoughts. So in that way, we handle time box periods of 10 minutes, 5 minutes, in order to change the dynamic and change the dynamic and change the dynamic. So in that way, everybody could share their own ideas. So no one, depending on the status, could like just take the control of the table.
Okay, great, Rocío. We have like 10, 11 more minutes, but I know that you have some more slides. Very cool. That I'd like you to talk about before going to some questions from the audience.
Alistair has a comment, I guess, because I heard something. I don't know if it was Aristar or if it
No,
was.
that's me, Melissa. I was just saying that we had a few comments or questions by the audience. So just whenever you're ready.
Go ahead, Melissa. We could go to the questions right now and we.
Okay. The first question is, how are you measuring desired social impact?
Well, if you go to seeagile.com, you could see that at the end of the page has a lot of things to improve right now. It's just kind of a blog, but you see at the end something that is called library. And in the library, that is an effort that we are trying to construct or to build, and we are working together. We are just picking the sources with that kind of information. I mean, like this person is asking how you measure. UNICEF already wrote a full ebook about how to measure social impact projects. So we refer to some pages of that guide that UNICEF prepared. As well, we refer to some other pages that are from the World Bank. And we have like several sources of people that are specialized in this kind of topics. And we are like open to accept like any trend and any tendency and any like methodology or think that helps to this purpose. We will just use the attitude and the mindset, and that is great that Ricardo put that the slide over there, because we see it in an agile way with the 5 commitments. I mean, the regular projects or the traditional projects or the predictive projects, whatever you want to call them out, waterfall projects as well, used to be like in the left side that you are watching right now in your screens. That is like one step, the other step, the other step, da, da, da. When we are talking about government, we need to have some controls. So they said, well, if you don't have this organization, you will like bring space for corruption and for other stuff. Well, anyways, we have this structure and we still have corruption. So it's not that this structure doesn't allow the corruption to pass. But okay, if you use the other way to thinking that is kind of circular, that is the agile way, that setting the priorities, looking what we have to develop and to accomplish and just deliver really like in short periods of time and fix what you have to fix. And we combine that in small periods of time, and with it doesn't matter if you are from like the finance or the economic ministry and you are so bureaucratic and you have like this strict mindset to do the things. We have to deliver something that in this month, how we can do it. And when we make that question, people start to change their mind and they start to think agile. So we use that, and they could refer to the metrics that they have like in World Bank, or the metrics that they have in their own government, or the metrics that they have in UNICEF. And we could use RTC, that is one way to measure the impact of a project, or we could use any other statistical, analytical method. But the thing is that we still are attached to the 5 commitments, and we are still attached to agile attitude and mindset. I don't know if I answered the questions.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
The other question is, which is one of my favorites, is how do you see Agile through the lens of Pura Vida, Costa Rica's national motto?
Pura Vida. Thanks for that question. Well, I think Pura Vida pretty much is being agile, and I live my life in a Pura Vida way. Pura Vida, for the ones who don't know about my country, and I invite you to go there. Of course, we have to be careful about this COVID situation right now, but when everything is like set up again and we could travel like safely, you are more than welcome to go to that beautiful paradise that is Costa Rica. And we have a Pura Vida slam. And Pura Vida is kind of Hakuna Matata. It's a way of living. It's being happy with what you have and being happy now. And I think Agile is a lot about that. It's like enjoying your life, enjoy what you have, enjoy your way of being right now, and let's do the best you can.
Yes, I love that. And if Ricardo, if I can add us a little bit more to that, because I've gone to Costa Rica before, Samada Beach, and
Oh,
I loved it. That's why I enjoy that question so much, because Pura Vida was my thing while I was there. So I'm glad that you talked about that, because I do feel like the Agile way is the Pura Vida way.
Yeah, I think that
okay.
every time you talk to someone with Costa Rica from Costa Rica, it's like instead of saying hi, hello, how are you, you say like pura vida, which is pure life. At the
Uh-huh.
beginning, the first time that I heard something like that, I thought that they were talking about like a water bottle brand or something like that. It's like, why they are talking about it? And then other person and that type of water should be like very famous there. And little by little, I understood that it's just a way to energize to each other and actually get connected. I might think. Mhm.
Yeah, now you know more about Pura Vida.
Melissa, do you have any other
Okay.
questions on this front chat?
That is it for now.
Okay, because I might have a couple, if you don't mind, Rocío. So
Go
when we
ahead.
talk about international organizations or nonprofit world or the government, yeah, there are two words that come to my mind, like transparency and ethics.
Wow.
Do you have anything about, especially a second one, ethics, because it's like a very, I don't know, gray area there.
Yeah. Well, we could go to the next slide as well. I mean, ethics is intrinsic in Agile, and that is why in C Agile we refer to several ethics framework to take decisions, because the ethics is different according to where are you located and what is your context. I mean, someone could say like killing someone is something unacceptable, but I could tell you that if someone puts a hand over my little stepdaughter that is 7 years old, I will be able to kill someone. and I know that is something bad, and I know that is something wrong, and I know that is something that is unethical, that is not socially accepted. But I can tell you that if somebody hurts or put a hand over my stepdaughter, I will become like nuts. And that is why ethics is so hard, because you have to as well check everything that is happening in that situation with that person and with that area and social society and stuff. So that is why we have like set up of a small principle and rules that we have to accomplish and we have to follow, and those have as well to correlate or to be integrated with what is legal, because sometimes something is legal but it's not the ethical way to do the things. So that is why we have to have that agreement and to check that at the beginning of any effort that is related to social impact projects. Because like thieving water or making like a hole in the ground to take water from the nature could be something that is not a problem. But when you are taking the water and not sharing the water with other people, maybe that will be a problem and that will be unethical. So that those are like the colors that we have in that Rubik cube that we have to analyze, and we have to challenge each other and to challenge our own mindset in order to be a person that we really want to be.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much, Rocío.
You're welcome. Do you have or do we have any other question or comment or something?
No, Ricardo, I'm assuming that, or Melissa, I'm assuming all our questions have been exhausted. Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
All right, perfect. That means so this is it's already 12 and now it's time for 10 minutes break and our session will start. Any closing note from you, Ricardo, Melissa, or if you don't mind, I can close it too. Totally up to you.
Okay. I guess from Rocio that this is a very nice way to summarize all the things that you were telling us, just how agile can be found in unexpected ways or places, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I would like, well, first thank you for the opportunity. Thanks to Agile DMB to organize this great event. I know all of you have been like working even in hours that are like unexpected, and I have seen you like working really really tough for this. So I want to say thank you for this organization, and as well I want to thank to everybody to join to this event. If you want any other information, you could go to cagile.com, or you could reach me just in my name in any social media, and I will be more than glad to answer your questions. My name is Rocío Briceño, and I am over all the social media platforms. And I want to go to the next slide just to close, telling to you that we have to work, or let's work with love, because it's the most powerful force in the universe. So if you have any question about what is the way of doing things, just connect with your love.
Mhm. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Rocio.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Rocío. And I'm gonna kill this live feed in here. Thank you so much for attendees joining us. And don't forget to take some break. It is 10-minute break for our next session. We're starting at 12:10. There are 3 sessions starting at the same time. So pick the one which you would love to join. And there is a laughing yoga too if you would like to laugh. Do come and enjoy with us. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.